The Black Stars of Ghana were one of the most feared teams on the African continent in the 1960s, 70s, and early 80s. But pre-2006, they easily developed a tag that had football fans calling them the nearly men of African football. This was attributed to their failure to capture the African Nations Cup since they first won it in 1982, and their inability to qualify for the World Cup. Despite producing talented players such as Adibi Pele, Anthony Yeboah, Prince Apoku, and Adarte Lamptey, in the early and late 1990s, Ghana did not qualify for the World Cup until after the new millennium. This is the story of how Ghana shocked the world at their first appearance at the FIFA World Cup in Germany. Before 2006, the closest chance Ghana ever came to making it to the World Cup was a playoff match against Algeria in 1993. Despite leading 0-1 in Algiers, Ghana ended up losing 2-1 to a young Algerian side that capitalized on some naive defending from the Black Stars. After that, Ghanaian football went into a steep decline. Ghana posted disappointing results in the African World Cup qualifiers for the 1998 and 2002 World Cups, finishing second to the bottom of their qualifying groups on both occasions. As the year 2004 approached, there was very little hope for Ghanaian football. The team had failed to qualify for the 2004 African Nations Cup, and many were beginning to doubt if Ghana would ever come back to their glory days. But the Ghanaian Football Association and their players had different ideas. As of 2005, Ghana was beginning to produce a golden generation of players who would go on to showcase Ghana's football talent for the next 5 years. The likes of Suleiman Muntari, Stephen Appiah, Asamoah Gyan, and Michael Essien were some of the many players that would help Ghana show the world that their time had come. Qualifying for the 2006 World Cup was their target after they failed to qualify for the African Nations Cup. And that they did, topping their group with 21 points and winning 6 games, drawing 1 and only losing 1. At the World Cup, Ghana was grouped against Italy, USA, and Czech. Although many thought they had a fair chance of going through, it was the manner in which they did it that shocked the football world. In their first match, they lost 0-2 to eventual winners of the World Cup, Italy. In their second match, they outplayed Czech Republic and beat them 2-0 with goals from Asamoah Gyan and Suleiman Muntari. In their last match against the USA, Ghana would guarantee that they would qualify for the second round on their first attempt at the World Cup. Hamanu Dramani put Ghana ahead in the 22nd minute until Clint Dempsey equalized in the 43rd minute. 2 minutes later, Ghana was awarded a penalty that was converted by Stephen Appiah. Ghana held on to beat the USA 2-1. Ghana finished second in their group and drew Brazil in the second round. For a team that had always been nicknamed the Brazilians of Africa because of their style of play, it was a match that many Ghanaian football fans could only dream of. But in the end, it was too much for Ghana. Despite outplaying Brazil for most of the match, the defending champions, who had the likes of Ronaldo, Kaká, and Ronaldinho, ended up beating Ghana 3-0. Ghana went home with their heads held high. They made a mark on the world stage, making it to the second round of the World Cup in their first attempt. This achievement would set a precedent for what was to come at the next World Cup in South Africa 4 years later. But that's a story for another video.